I've received a lot of requests on my vending machine video to make a tutorial, so I figured it'd be a good chance to show off a few concepts that some of you might not have been aware of in the wonderful world of Redstone. I'll be splitting this video up into 4 sections. The first part will be covering the input selection. The second part will be the busing from the input to the dispenser outputs. The third part will be the coin system and coin return. And the final part will be putting it all together. By the end of it, you should be able to make something similar to this. This is just the vending machine with the casing, most of the casing removed. We're going to be making a 4x4 dispenser grid array. So 16 different items that you can dispense from this vending machine that I'll be making right now. And the first step is with the inputs, so 4 buttons. Now what we want to do is we want to separate these by a redstone, a space between each of the redstone links. So we're going to have a line like this, like so, block on top to isolate that, and like so. Put some casing around it to isolate it, and there we go. The next step is blocks on all of these and repeaters. What we're building now is going to be our binary row select. Dust on the back of these. Repeaters along here. In the other design that you see to the right here, we don't require those repeaters. That's because for this one, I'm going to be doing things slightly differently, and I'm going to have glowstone propagating the charge upwards. This is because we have a 4x4 array, and so the redstone length isn't going to be excessive, like it is with the 8x8 one over there. So we can fit a whole signal on an upwards charge of don't put there. There's some glowstone selection. And same thing up here. Now the next thing that we want to add to this is what I like to call our disable. And we're going to do this in between each pair. There. And repeaters along here. That's just to separate the charges from each other. And now this gets tied to a common input. And we do the same thing over here. And tying them together. Now I'm going to stack these, so let's just add 2 more of the rows. You build them the same way that you did the previous ones. And this is where we put our binary input lever selection. Torches on the back. And now we're just going to repeat this till we get to the very top row. Okay, now we're going to hook this up in such a way that when we have a unique combination of these levers, these torches, depending on what state they're in, will either, well, obviously we want both of them off, but we're going to hook them up in such a way that only one of these rows will be on at a time, will be off at a time. So for our first one, it's a simple case of just hooking those two up. Our second one is this combination. So we want to invert this torch. We don't have enough room, so I'm going to do a little trick here. And I'm just going to tap the input from this torch here, because it powers this block, and grab it right from there. And this one, I'm going to put a repeater to isolate this input, and dust right there. Our next line will be this combination, which means we're going to have a similar thing going on, except for this one we'll have to invert this torch's result. So as you can see, this block is powering this block, and also this powers this space here. So that allows us to compactly invert in a very small section. And our final row, which is this combination, both of them being down, and it's another simple, just add the wire across. And now we have our simple decoder. So both of them up. As you can see, only that row is off. That second row, our third row, and only our last row. And that's the basics of the input. Next I'll be showing how to connect all this to the dispenser section. Now before we continue, I just realized that these are overlapping, so I'm going to have to bring these out one row forward. More specifically, it was this button that was triggering two inputs, so that should be fixed now. One, single one. There we go, they're all isolated now. Okay, now that we have that fixed up, do I need that there? Now I can bring this in. There we go. Okay, now that that's fixed up, we have an important choice to make, and that's where our dispensers will be going. Optimal solution is in line with this line of glowstone, and we have to have this at least 4 blocks away. Like so. Actually, I'll just do the simple way. Alright, there's our line of them. Don't need these blocks anymore. Now we need some ice. The reason we're using ice is because items flow, well, water pushes items that are on ice much quicker than on any normal solid block. And the reason why we have it 4 blocks away is because ice doesn't react too well with glowstone. It'll melt, and we can't have that happening. So we'll just seal this section off. stacking there. To do this, we'll need these. You can choose any block at the front here to hide the dispensers. I'm just picking ice because keep everything roughly the same. Along here, we'll want 2 solid blocks. We'll be having 2 sticky pistons there. Fences all the way to the top. Don't need it there. We'll encase this section in. Same story here. And now we have to quickly load the water and the ice. There we go. Now we have water flowing in all 4. Let's make this stay. Water flowing in all 4 areas. That's our dispenser array set up. Now we need a way to trigger it, and that is with some torches. And repeaters behind them. Alternating a pattern like so. And dust there, there, there. For stacking reasons, I'm just going to put some dust here. So, this position. I can get rid of that. And we have our torch array set up. Now we need to connect each of these individual sections to the corresponding clumped together torch array here. So the first one's really simple. It's the same level. And just redstone across. For the next one, we have to bring this down 1 level. Bring that across and isolate the lines from each other. The next one, similar case again. We'll need a repeater here though. And the same story for this line. Bringing it down 1. And isolating them. Probably a good idea to put these sticky pistons down last. Finishing this row off. Okay, now for stacking purposes, what will I be missing? I'll just do a top line here then. So we keep repeating this all the way to the top. And we need that there. Oops, wrong line. That'll be fine. Alright, now stacking this. I should probably go back one more. And wait. And we'll have one row. Do we have one row too many? No, we don't. Everything's turned off. Yep, looks like that's stacked correctly. Alright, now we have our dispensers hooked up to our input grid. Just fill this up and fix up the appearance of it. And there's our array set up. Now we're going to load these dispensers with some items just to test them out. And let's just pick the top row as well. Now, assuming that nothing has failed... Oh wait, we better hook this up. Alright, so on the end of this common line, we need a monostable circuit. So set this one to delay of 3. We'll go down here. Put a repeater delay on. Some dust here. And we will need this torch to be depowered. So let's grab some and hook it up like this. Let's test out 12 delays first. Alright, so these are both down, so we're going to go with the top row, and the furthest one away is this button here. So it's dispense to item. Yep. Can we go any quicker than that? Let's test it out with delay of 11. That's probably pushing it a bit. I'm going to go back to 12 just to make it a bit safer, in case I know it lags on a server or something. And we're going to whack a sign here. just to stop the water from flowing out if it does flow out quite a bit. Pick the closest one this time. Yep, all good. Just check that our bottom row is working. Yep, wonderful. And that's the busing section completed. So the third part involves the coin return system, which is, this was the previous version of it. Required no fences like this one does. But I think I'm going to show you how to build this one, just because it's simpler to build, rather than a giant tangle of wires and repeaters everywhere here. Not saying that there isn't a tangle here, but it's a lot easier to follow. So I'll show you how this item detection system worked first. I've oriented it in 4 different ways, but there's one direction where it doesn't actually work for some reason. And it's, open the debug screen, if this stream here is facing the F of 1. Not sure what direction it is. I'm assuming it's west. If they fix the Minecraft sun rising and north and change it to sun rising and east. Otherwise it's what, south? So yeah, it doesn't work when it's facing this F direction of 1. What happens is when we place an item, it goes through and it gets stuck on the pressure plate. Whereas these 3 orientations, when an item goes through, it'll go on the pressure plate and then get carried over by this current. The way you build one of these is simply a matter of making a 2x3 hole, extending it by 2 this direction, water block here, water block there, your pressure plate there, and you can extend this to however long you want. Well, the current limit of 8, or just whack a sign to stop the water from spilling onto everything. So that was the old design, and this is the new design. The reason why we have these fences up here is because it relies on the item falling through a pressure plate that's on a fence trick. And if an item lands in the middle section of the pressure plate, it'll get stuck there and it won't actually fall through. So we have these fences up here, so you can only chuck an item in to the correct areas. When we drop that down, it falls through and goes to this middle collection area. The way it works, this one that we'll be building, when I get a signal to trigger it to, what's this one? This is the coin return signal. This is the reset no, this one's the reset signal. Well, the acknowledge signal, I should say. When you've pressed a button over here, from that same common line that we've built before, we take that, we hook it up so that it goes to this torch here, unpowering it, so the items that are in the collection bay fall down and you can't retrieve them. And likewise, this is our signal for the coin return. Let me just put a few items in. Buttons will do. And I've also turbocharged it a bit so it picks up all the items and delivers it to you quicker. So let's get started on building this thing. Now we have to decide where we want to place the coin return. I would advise keeping it the same orientation as the other ones, as it's a lot simpler to wire the rest of the signals up. So we pick a few blocks out. Let's say this is where it'll be pulled through. So, sticky pistons. Need a central column. Need a torch here. Redstone dust there. Our button goes here. Two fences. Make it look however you want. We'll just open this up. Now for some slabs. And we're pretty much done in regards to this section. We can cover it up like so. Put a glass block there, a non-conducting block. Or something like glowstone. And cover the rest of it up. So there's the item drop-off point. Now we need the actual detection mechanism, which is 2 blocks underneath. Pressure plate on top. And we have a little ice ring here. 2 out, I think. Don't need that there. Or this one. Now we have a case around it. This is where the water will be flowing. Torches there. Single input there. Where am I feeding this off? I think at the back. Continuing on. And we do this for the middle as well. Water there. Water there, and there's our tracks. Now our next step is all the piston related gadgetry to bring the item either back or to push it up. So we need a sticky piston here. One there, it's getting a bit dark. need two like so. This is our retracting line to drop the items. We need another one here. Now for some normal pistons. Once this gets pushed up, it needs to be pushed across, and then once more for here. And a certain amount of blocks away from that, directly next to it, is our double extender. Just putting red wool so you can tell which block it is. Yep. Now to wire this whole section up, we need a tricky method of powering this one. Which involves a very convoluted way of actually getting the signal there. This one out. Had it going out that way. Like so. This one receives its signal from here. Alright, we have a block here. What delay do we have it set to? Set to 3. We have our signal traveling across here. And then further to power this one here. Which I'm doing just with a repeater. So that repeater is going to send the signal through this block. It's going to power this line here. Set this to 2 ticks. Now we've got this one, these two hooked up. We've got the very bottom one hooked up. We don't have this one hooked up yet though, which I believe is on this side. Alright, we're feeding it from that one, okay. And with a repeater delay of 1. So this signal travels down. I think I go across. Like so. So we have all 4 of those powered now. We have this section to complete now. Just the double piston extender. And we have a latch that needs to be finished off. Now let's keep it identical to this one. So what have I done? I have it going this way, okay. goes to here. Hold on a second. Like so. This one goes here. We don't need these two middle ones. For testing purposes, we'll put a button on the set and reset. So let's reset that right now. And get this double extender going. Just make sure I've got the right lines. Yep, so very bottom and 2 blocks space. So repeater set to 3. I believe I share the same line. No, it should be one higher. That one's set to 1. And using a torch to power it. Like so, like so. Now we just need to hook 2 monostables up to this. And let's just check what level I have that on. 1 level below that, so right here. Alright, I have my output. Just make a platform. Using a different monostable here, just because it's easier. It takes up less space. Vertical. Repeater here. Set it to 4, 3. Set it to 4. That's an existent space. And we need redstone there. And a certain delay. So we have, what, 6 ticks there. So 6 ticks after the first lot goes in. Our second pulse will be sent to this double extender. It's not really a double extender, it's more of, it stays in an extended state, and then when you give it this double signal, it'll retract, and then, yeah, it'll retract and then go back to its fully powered state again. Hook that up to wire. Now we gotta pick where we want our button to be. I just had it 2 across from there. It's a nice location, so if you want to have a single just a single block visible, you'll need to feed the signal, collect the signal with a repeater. Like so. And now this goes to this section, and it also needs to go to this. Which I will have up here. Just keep it the same level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just put a repeater here. I'm just going to need one somewhere. Okay, what is it sourcing? Alright, we haven't isolated this. And I believe that is done right now. Now to reset this. And let's test our coin return button. 2 items. Going into the middle now. We hit our coin return. We haven't put the appropriate delay on here yet. I believe it's the matched delay, or is it slightly less? Nope, matched delay, so we need a delay of 6 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 there. Let's try this again. Items go in, go to collection area. We haven't emptied it, so we hit the coin return, and it's back in our inventory. Okay, and that's the coin return done. And now we're finally ready to hook everything together. So the first thing that we're missing is the retractable button area. This goes out one more. We have blocks under here. And then we're powering this with repeaters. And this is powering. This will get powered by something else later on. Another area, or another section we need. This torch closes this section off. And it's going to be depowered when it's set by this, which is simply the opposite state. So we'll need an inverter here, like so. So now that it's been powered, this gets depowered, which, well, that gets set when 2 items fall through at the same time. This is also our reset line. So we'll need to tap into this at some stage later on. Now, we need to hook this up to the closest point that we can grab a signal off, which will be right here. Send this down, and where are we going? To here. I don't want to break anything important. Go out through here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We'll need a repeat around here. Now when we hit a button, it'll close up. We also want this particular signal when we hit a button to dispose of the coins and reset the set line down here, so it stays up permanently until it gets another coin system entered. For that we need, this is the reset, so this is where I was stemming up before. And we'll grab that off this line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, here will do. And that's that section filled in. So that's reset, one-way reset. All we need is that same signal to activate. Yep, same signal to activate this. And we're done. We can make it closer to here. Now if I haven't missed anything, that should cover everything. So right now we're set. We press a button, it goes up, it doesn't go back down, and we get, well, we get our item. Coins go in. We've paid for our items, or paid with our items. We select the top row, the furthest one away, closes back up. We get our item. We hit the coin return. We get nothing as expected. We throw something in. It opens up. We hit the coin return. We get our items back. Beautiful. So that's everything completed. This is the 4x4 vending machine. New coin return system. Slightly faster in terms of delivery speed as I have the items flowing in this direction. So if you really want to, you can take this repeater down to 3 to make it just that slightly bit faster, but otherwise completely stable, and assuming that no squids magically spawn, you don't have to do any maintenance on the machine. I hope this has been useful to some people, and like usual I'll put this up in the download section below in the description. So you can download the map with the exposed 8x8, 4x4 with the same system, and the slightly faster newer method here.